Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. Today I'm test driving the 2016 Mazda CX5 compact crossover. This is a vehicle that I've test driven before and I've always liked it because it offers sporty handling on the highway. Not something you always find with crossover SUVs. Now for 2016, they've made a number of changes this year. Not only a few styling and feature updates, but they also say they've increased the dynamic feel of the suspension and powertrain. So we're going to try to find out today what that really means.
For 2016, Mazda freshens the exterior design of its popular CX5 with a number of styling elements that, while new, continue the theme of its Kodo Soul of Motion design language. On our fully optioned Grand Touring tester, the breadth of these updates can fully be seen. Up front is a new grille design with more detailing, a revised fog light and grille set, and on our tester, more elaborate LED headlamps which pivot and adjust for various conditions. New 19-inch wheels are also now available with black inset highlights. At the rear, revised LED tail lamps are the major change here, giving a distinctive look at night. Dual exhaust outlets at the lower fascia remained a standout feature here too. Overall, the look remains contemporary even with some of the latest competitors arriving to market. Inside, Mazda added a bolder horizontal trim spanning the dash panel and increased use of soft trims here and there. Some items like the rubberized molded finish surrounding the center screen was already peeling off, however, giving some concern about long-term quality. A new center console design features an electric parking brake and a control center for the new infotainment system. That system is also new this year, a combination touchscreen and console-controlled audio navigation and connectivity package. The new 7-inch display screen offers easy-to-follow menus and a full range of connectivity choices, both wired and wireless. The Bose audio sounded phenomenal with HD radio, satellite radio, CD, and multiple input jacks, able to play just about anything you've got. The tilt and telescoping steering wheel features multiple controls for audio and connectivity, as well as trip functions in the instrument cluster display, but no paddle shifters. The instrument cluster does include a small LCD screen, but remains otherwise basic. For 2016, Mazda offers a new I-Activesense driver assistance package that has radar cruise control with active braking and a blind spot monitor with rear cross-traffic alert, which works audibly and visibly through its backup camera system. Our interior featured the near white parchment leather and black trim combination, which was quite striking. Front seats are heated here with power adjustment for the driver and manual for the passenger. There aren't any memory settings or the offering of ventilated seats.
Overall, the changes done to the interior are just minor little trim and detail things, not a complete redesign. One thing I still have to pick on though is the infotainment system. New this year, the controls are down here on the console. New for Mazda, it's a nice little system. Once you get used to it, it actually works pretty well. And that's a good thing because the touch screen stops being a touch screen once you get it into motion. It doesn't let you use a touchscreen when you're driving. That just isn't cool.
Rear seat passengers will enjoy reasonable room for this class. There's a fold-down center armrest with cup holders, but there are no rear HVAC vents or adjustability for the seat backs, which some competitors are starting to offer. Those rear seats do fold down in a 40-20 split, however, and near perfectly flat for a cargo area of up to 65 cubic feet of space. Convenient release latches at the rear hatch make putting them down quite easy too. Under that cargo floor, you'll also find a temporary spare tire. Under the hood of the CX5, you can have either a standard 2-liter 4-cylinder Skyactiv engine with 155 horsepower or the optional engine we have here, this one being the 2.5-liter version with 184 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque. For 2016, it comes only with the 6-speed automatic transmission, which now has a sport mode, which raises shift points to a higher RPM and provides more immediate rev match downshifts when braking into corners.
So this engine is what I would call adequate. The thing is, at this price point, being the fully loaded model at just over $30,000, many of its competitors in this price range offer a much more powerful engine as an option. I'm talking about a turbocharged 4-cylinder and even V6s in some cases. Here we have the optional engine, which is, well, very similar in power to many of its competitors' standard engines. So that's the first thing. The other thing is this 6-speed automatic transmission has two modes, the normal one and sport mode. Now in normal mode, it tends to lug the engine. It really makes it difficult to get kind of a sporty feel. If you lay into the throttle going up a hill, such as I'm doing right now, it just wants to hold it in that gear. It doesn't want to downshift for you. Now that can be fixed with sport mode. Down here on the console, just hit the button. In most cases, it automatically drops you a gear, so that does help out quite a bit. But what I've been finding driving around here today with the sport mode is it never upshifts. It gives you that extra gear for getting more power when you're driving around, but, well, then it just keeps that engine running at high RPM and it never sort of settles down. It's either too slow or too fast.
For 2016, the Mazda CX5 as tested is rated by the EPA at 26 mpg city, 33 mpg highway, and 29 mpg combined. In our time with the Mazda CX5, we achieved 25 mpg combined, which covered highway, city, all with the air conditioning on. Chassis improvements for 2016 include revised damper mounting and bushing designs. Mazda says that overall noise, vibration, and harshness is reduced with the changes, as well as having a 10% quieter ride.
As I said at the outset, one of the things I always appreciated about the CX5 is its sports car-like handling, like up here on a mountain road. It does have a lot of grip. It's got a very sharp turn-in, and you can really toss it around up here in the curves. Not something you can do with many of its competitors. Now, that does come at a cost here, however. This has the 19-inch wheels with a lower profile tires. And so what that gives me is, on less than smooth pavement, it actually gets quite harsh. Bumps, potholes, irregularities come crashing through in here in a pretty big way. And so if you get a lower trim level with a higher side profile in the tire, that's likely to be diminished. But when you get on rough pavement, I've just found that it really can lose its edge when it comes to refinement. It can get pretty harsh at times. Now, the other thing I like to do with crossovers like this is the washboard road. Even though it's not really off-roading, crossovers, well, they're marketed for letting you take the road less traveled. And so taking a vehicle like this off onto a washboard road allows you to really see how well tuned the suspension is, how solid the chassis is. That sports car ride that makes this feel like a sports car in the pavement really does make it quite noisy, quite harsh out here on a washboard vibrating road. It's just part of the compromise. When you tune your suspension to handle really well on the pavement, it usually comes at the cost of the softer, more isolated ride that you want off the pavement.
So, while Mazda has made the cabin a bit quieter and handling remains quite impressive in the sporting sense, the ride remains at the edge of harshness in the class for rougher roads. In addition, its electric power steering felt heavy and numb at times. The adoption of the new available driver assistance and crash avoidance systems for the 2016 model year and Mazda CX-5's good performing structure earns it an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus honor. It performs with good ratings in their full battery of crash tests, including the new brutal small overlap test.
Rounding it up for the CX-5, let's have a look at the specs. First of all, the price. We're right around $33,000. You can spend this much on most of its competitors, but I'll point out at that price, most of its competition offer more feature content and oftentimes more performance. Now, fuel economy, we hit 25 mpg for the week, and that was a week with city and highway driving, not just the mountains that you saw today. I point that out because most cars we test, we actually meet the EPA estimates, if not exceed them. Here, this is quite a bit below that. Now, as we look at the stars, the different areas where we compare this vehicle against its competitors, I really think the CX-5 is just starting to show its age. Now, I know it just had a lot of improvements, both inside and out, but when it comes to the overall things that we look at, this is where it falls. But we're still at 4 stars for the week. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride.
If you enjoyed our review, please click on the link on the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on the Google, Twitter, and that Facebook by clicking on the links below in the information section.